Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is OK Comics. And first of all, I want to give my sincerest thanks to the new subscribers to my channel, because at this point, subscribing is not even a vote of confidence, but a leap of faith. And I hope I don't disappoint, although most likely I will, but we'll see. I wasn't planning on making a new video this week, but I just realized that October is upon us. It is less than 30 days away. And with October comes the deadline of a fun activity that we are running at the Blood Force Discord server. For those who don't know, a little bit of context, the Blood Force YouTube channel is run by a Canadian artist named Mitch, who is making his own 90s style comic book called Blood Force, which is kind of a homage. It's part homage, part parody of the 90s tropes seen in things like Youngblood, Bloodstrike, X-Force, that sort of thing, hence the name Blood Force. And he also makes reviews focusing especially on 90s comics, and with a special emphasis on Image comics from the early 90s, which have a reputation for being some of the worst comics ever made. And it's not like that reputation is unearned, mind you, but for us readers, it was very exciting seeing the comic industry in the 90s. Being a reader in the 90s was an exciting experience. It was a little bit, I guess, like watching the hip-hop scene evolve, except the only shooter was Jim and everybody hated him. Anyway, so in one of the review videos that Mitch did, he examined Youngblood issue 0, which was a part of the Image X month event during the first, I think it happened during like the second year or the beginning of the second year of Image titles. And it consisted of the Image creators switching titles. So McFarlane drew Cyberforce, and Mark Silvestri drew Spawn, and Jim Lee drew Savage Dragon, and Eric Larson drew Wildcats, and Rob Liefeld drew Shadowhawk, while Jim Valentino drew Youngblood. And so the Shadowhawk issue that Rob drew and wrote was issue 0, because he couldn't manage fitting it into the Shadowhawk continuity, and that's kind of an important aspect of it, because part of the event, part of the maybe appeal of the event was that artists were going to be handling stuff that they were not entirely familiar with. So mostly guys that handled solo titles would do team books, and guys that did team books would handle solo titles. And some did a relatively decent job, and others kind of showed why they don't do that kind of stuff. And one of those was Rob Liefeld, who Liefeld has never been an urban vigilante guy. Liefeld has never been the kind of guy that draws the solo character that hunts down criminals while perching on a rooftop at night. He's a team guy. He did X-Force, he did Youngblood, and he did Bloodstrike. He wanted to do Teen Titans. So Shadowhawk is definitely a character that he doesn't know what to do with. So what he did was he resorted on a generic stock plot that he always uses whenever he doesn't know what to do or whenever he needs to do a fill-in issue or a one-shot that is not going to have consequences. And that plot was kind of broken down by Mitch in the video, um, to the point of developing like a recipe. So based on that, I thought that it would be fun if everybody, all of the Discord server members, would make our own version of that plot. We'd use that plot as a prompt and make our own 90s style one shot. And that's how we came up with the 90 Days for the 90s challenge, or the 90s Extreme Ashcan Challenge, as we called it, which started at the beginning of July, and the deadline supposedly is on October the 1st. So, the idea is to create a single issue comic that is between 16 and 22 pages long, maybe more, maybe less, using 90s style characters and using the plot or the plot structure of Shadowhawk number 0, which is a structure that has been used a lot, especially by Rob Liefeld in several occasions. So the idea is that the team or the protagonist is travels to a location, to some sort of installation in a vehicle, and then drops off. Once in the installation, fights a whole bunch of nobodies until at the end there's a bigger nobody that manages to connect a few punches before being taken down. And there is some backstory sprinkled in the meantime for good measure. That's basically it. Like simple, inconsequential 90s one shot. Just an excuse to draw a big fight against faceless and nameless enemies, so that the heroes can display their powers. And although this part is not like obligatory, there are suggestions of characters if you don't have any. Like, for example, 90s teams usually had a guy with big shoulder pads and big guns, which is like the Cable clone, a guy with claws, like the Wolverine clone, a girl that that wears a very skimpy outfit and fights with katanas, a girl with some sort of energy or psychic powers, and a big guy, a huge guy that covers almost all of the background, and a guy that has a hood that doesn't cover his hair, like this guy. Or I don't know if Spartan shows up in this comic, but you get the idea. Sort of like Gambit. I guess the best example that I can think of is Gambit, or like this kind of headgear like Mr. Majestic is wearing here. So that's the idea, and the original time to do it was 90 days, to make it comfortable. The end Ashcan has to be readable, so even if you leave it in pencil, you have to at least letter it so that it can be read, because it needs to be posted online somewhere, so that we can read it. And it has to have a cover. And if you want to, you can print it, but that's not a requirement. I'm going to place a link to the Shadowhawk 0 video in the description, so that you can see what inspired all of this. But that's basically the explanation. So to summarize, 16 to 22 page 90s style one shot. It can be a team or a solo book, it doesn't matter. It can be new characters or characters that you have already used or that you intend to use some other time. It doesn't matter either. Just follow the plot that is suggested, and we'll read it, and we'll have fun with it. I am hopelessly behind on the challenge, of course, because I, being the organizer myself, of course, I have to be behind. Uh, but I have been kind of working on it. Like, this is my gun guy, for example. Tentatively, I'm calling him Gunshot, although the fact that he's wearing a bandana with the American flag, um, I don't, and being the gun guy, I kind of want to name him something related to the Second Amendment or something, but I haven't gotten there yet. So most likely he will remain Gunshot till the end. This was a prototype for my Katana Girl, sort of reusing a character model from my other comic project, but I decided not to use her, but instead go for a more of a ninja outfit. And this is my and this is my scalpless hood guy who has the energy powers. He shoots blasts from his chest and from his bracelets. So he's basically the Cyclops of the team, although he's not the leader. And as I said, I am hopelessly behind because I was trying a method that didn't work at all, in which I tried to lively to the max by drawing the thumbnails in a very small size and then blowing it up and finishing it on an actual letter-sized piece of paper, but it didn't work at all. So I have two choices. Either I am going to have to finish penciling it, basically making it micro size here, which I have done. Or I have already drawn mini comics at this size. So it's not that much of a big deal, but I'm not sure about it. Or I would have to completely redraw everything on a larger piece of paper. I still haven't decided what to do, but I'm going to have to make a choice in the next couple of days if I want to have something by the end of the month. So this is what's going to occupy my spare time for the rest of the month, really. So all the time that I am not, all of my drawing time, when I am not working on commissions, I'm going to be working on this. I have to place my personal comic project on hold for a little while, which will allow me to think about it and make a couple of decisions. But I really need to get this going, this Hammer Strike going. This title was Mitch's suggestion, by the way. And I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments below? And what do you suggest? Should I try to blow it up, or is it good enough at this size? And I hope you join in. I know there's little time left, but it can be fun. After all, it's called a challenge for something. And one of the reasons why I think it is an interesting project to tackle is that for guys like myself who are chronic perfectionists to the point of artist block, as guys that second guess every decision that we make, we do it because we want to make something good. But I think every once in a while it is healthy to do something that doesn't have any hope of actually being good. It kind of lets you off the hook because, like I said at the beginning, 90s comics have a very bad rap. And if you're taking them as your base, and if you're deliberately going to work on the cliches and on the tropes, then, well, the result is going to be of a similar quality. But and I think that can be very liberating in a way, in that there's no hope for it to be a good comic in the traditional sense. So there's nothing to worry. It's supposed to be a low effort challenge, although some guys have really gone overboard with it and are making some really awesome stuff. You can see it in the Discord, and you will see it when we finish. But really, you don't need to worry a lot about it. So I think it's a very fun challenge to try to tackle. And well, who knows what you might discover about yourself and about your art if you try something like this. So wish me luck, and I hope you join. I hope you have fun with it. I'll keep you updated, not very often, but I'll try to let you know what's going on with this. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. And kind of an improvised video today, but yep, that is all. Wish me luck. Let's hope Hammer Strike gets to a readable state soon enough so that I can meet the deadline that I myself imposed. And with that, I guess I won't take up any more of your time. And see you later. This has been OK Comics, signing off.